So recently, Marvel had shown some of its future projects for Marvel Phase 3. Now, some of these projects include Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Captain America Civil War, and Avengers Infinity War Part 1. Now, the one I'm mostly excited about is Captain America Civil War. Not because Captain America is my favorite superhero, just because it will totally give us a much needed remake of the Marvel Civil War. This was a very big comic in the Marvel franchise. It depicted mostly Captain America and Iron Man sort of fighting over what was called the Superhero Legislation Act, meaning that you have to reveal your identity to the public in order to be registered as a hero. Now, Captain America did not agree to this at all, and he started an anti-legislation act, and that's sort of where the two had just, become enemies. And actually, there's been some problems with the project lately because of Spider-Man. Now, the reason being is because Spider-Man sort of bridged the whole thing together, sort of was a big part of it. And the reason why they can't have Spider-Man in this movie is mostly because he's in the custody of Sony right now. Now, it doesn't look like Sony will be releasing Spider-Man anytime soon because right now they're just trying to expand on every part of Spider-Man's universe as possible. And it just looks like he will not be a part of the Marvel Universe anytime soon. But during the release of all these projects, it seems like Panther movie and it seems like Robert Downey Jr., who played as Iron Man, Chris Evans, who played Captain America, showed up on stage, and the person playing Black Panther also showed up, and it looked like they were fighting over him. This is sort of foreshadowing into saying, is Black Panther going to be the missing link for the Marvel Civil War? We don't know that right now, but my biggest hopes is that this becomes a reality, because I know this will probably be the biggest Marvel movie ever.
It almost seems like the world can't get any worse. Kim Jong-un's playing with his militaries like a 2-year-old with his action figures. Vladimir Putin's going full-on spy movie Russian bad guy. Kanye West still hasn't dropped his new album, and apparently we're running out of chocolate. Yes, really. The Washington Post reports that chocolate demand is through the roof, and cocoa farmers can't keep up. Chocolate consumption experts expect that the demand will outweigh the supply by 2030.
Many of you have thought of the idea of a helicopter ejection seat. While funny to think about, it begs the question, how fast would you need to go to pass through the blades of a helicopter spinning at full speed? This is how it works. To start, how fast do helicopter blades spin? This question helps to an extent, but what we need to find is the time it takes for one rotation. The average helicopter has an RPM, or rotations per minute, of 500. Divided by 60, we get the number of rotations per second. If we divide a second by this number, we get the number of seconds per rotation, which comes out to be about 0.12 seconds. If 360 degrees is completed in 0.12 seconds, we can set up a ratio and cross-multiply to determine how long it would take to make 1/4 of a rotation. Once this is completed, we realize there is a small window of 0.03 seconds for our little guy to pass through the blades. In my research, I found the average distance from the ground to the blades is roughly 2.97 meters. But let's assume the distance from the pilot seat to the blades is about 2/3 of the distance from the ground to the blades. This value comes out to be about 1.98 meters. We must realize that the pilot will not eject with his feet straight up. As he is launched, his legs will most naturally trail right behind him. In order to find the length of his legs, we must go through the fundamentals of the human anatomy. From the base of one's foot to his inseam, the average distance is 45% of the person's height. If the average man is 176.3 centimeters, or 1.763 meters, his leg length will on average be 0.79 meters long. This distance would be added to our original distance from the seat to the blades, which comes out to be about 2.77 meters. Now with our nice little d equals vt equation, a little math is done to determine that the speed needed is in fact 92.33 repeating. This has been How It Works with Colin Skinner.
In the great state of Pennsylvania, in the great city of Philadelphia, yet another fiasco has struck. It appears as though two women who entered a McDonald's seeking a good breakfast were severely disappointed. How, you may ask? Well, they apparently missed the deadline for the McDonald's breakfast menu, which of course is around 11, and they went into a rage and began throwing chairs, tables across the restaurant and began physically assaulting workers and customers. The McDonald's in which this took place even has video evidence of this event taking place, and they also have evidence how they were yelling rather slanderous statements at the other customers about how severely they'll beat them. So when two ladies went on and assaulted McDonald's, they were hungry. But when it comes down to charges, they were Egg McNothing.
Winter officially starts on December 21st. However, Mother Nature does not like that. So she decided that we're all going to have winter now. Every state in the Union has at least one part of it that is below freezing. In Panhandle, Florida, temperatures reached 25 degrees. And in Mauna Kea, Hawaii, temperatures reached 31 degrees. This is the first time in recorded history where every state has had at least one place with temperatures below freezing. And out of these 50 states, 40 are expecting snow. They range from about 2 inches in Upper Texas to 70 inches in Buffalo, New York. And to be exact, 50.2% of the country has had snow on the ground on Tuesday. So what this means is Mother Nature doesn't abide by any of our laws. She's an independent force of nature.
Infamous mass murderer Charles Manson, who's currently serving a life sentence for the brutal killing of 9 people back in 1969, is getting married. The now 80-year-old Manson has been granted a marriage license by the state and is planning to get hitched to 26-year-old Afton Burton. Burton maintains several websites advocating Manson's innocence with absolutely no evidence whatsoever. The couple wishes to get hitched as soon as possible. Burton states that the marriage is one of love and seeks to raise awareness for her innocence campaign, but he's not eligible for parole until 2027, which if you do the math, he's gonna be 93. Probably dead by then. I wonder what she sees in him. Maybe she has a thing for swastika tattoos. Hello and welcome to 70-Second Smackdown. My name is Parker Lehman. Today we're going to be discussing gun control. Start the clock. I personally think gun control is a weird issue because if you restrict guns, then crazy people are still going to be able to get guns because they're going to do that no matter what, and people aren't going to have a way to defend themselves. So, Thomas, go.
Yeah, that I kind of agree with that because the intention is really good. You want to get guns out of the criminals' hands, but criminals break the law. They're lawbreakers. So why would they even bother, paying attention to that law? It just restricts us, the good people.
Go, Eddie. As you were saying, lawbreakers, this law is a lawbreaker. According to the Second Amendment of the Constitution, all U.S. citizens have a right to guns, so we can't have any gun control laws in the first place. This law should be turned down immediately as a violation of that amendment.
You heard that, Obama? We're coming for you. That was 70 Second Smackdown. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to 70 Second Smackdown. Today's topic is whether or not you should go to college. Start the clock. I don't think, for some cases like doctors and lawyers and so forth, yeah, you need to go to college. But I think for most people, you don't really need to go. You could just go out into the world and venture off and find your job. Find what you could do, because experience in the world is much better than just staying 4 years in a room where you don't learn anything that much.
I kind of agree with you saying that world experience is very good, like with a foreign language. It's good like that. But I disagree because college can teach you certain skills that you need to learn it. It's a very good way to learn certain skills that you need for your profession.
But mostly what you get is debt and disappointment, really. At least today's colleges. You want to weigh in, Cole?
Yeah, I think that if you don't want to go to college, you could, live a life for one off of minimum wage at any job you're lucky enough to get, unless you create something outrageous. But it'll probably be hard to do without a formal education or, college. But it's not impossible, but, it never hurts to, get a nice pay because you went to college.
Give me that.